welcome to Spirit Lake, Iowa, home of Indian Motorcycle.
Shayna, it is an honor to be here where the magic happens, so thank you for having me.
So we're actually here today to talk about Scout Performance accessories.
Awesome.
And one of the things you mentioned was horsepower.
Yeah.
Some of the accessories that might help you out a little bit are these exhaust pipes that you see here. So we have two different options on these bikes. The first one is this 2-into-1 exhaust.
Cool.
And then the shorty slip-ons. Accompanied with the Stage 1 intake, you're gonna actually get a 10% bump in horsepower with the full package, no matter which exhaust you choose. And not only that, but they really bring out that low, throaty sound.
Most importantly, you look good while doing it, so I think that's very key.
Welcome to Spirit Lake, Iowa, home of Indian Motorcycle.
Shayna, it is an honor to be here where the magic happens, so thank you for having me.
So we've been having a lot of fun the last couple days talking about motorcycles.
We have. I have a 2020 Indian Springfield Dark Horse, but I started on a 2016 Scout. So sitting on one of these right now makes me miss my Scout and potentially maybe get another one, but we don't know.
Tell me a little bit about the riding that you did with your Scout.
So I had a 2016 Scout. I lived in Los Angeles. I loved riding my Scout everywhere. So I did everything from twisties and canyon runs to riding around downtown LA from, one place to the other. So yeah, it was my everyday rider, everyday commuter, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
As we've been talking about the last couple days, performance is pretty important to you.
Mm-hmm. Actually, one of the first things that I did was get a new exhaust, get a performance exhaust. The suspension was important to me. Anything that could make my bike handle better, have better suspension, all of that, horsepower, all important to me. So, and you have to also look cool.
For sure. We've been talking a lot about style too. Good. So we're actually here today to talk about Scout Performance accessories.
Awesome.
And one of the things you mentioned was horsepower.
Yeah.
So on this bike, you can't see it, but I promise you, we have a really nice Stage 1 intake.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna give you that horsepower bump that you're looking for, horsepower and torque.
I'm sure it probably sounds great too, right?
Yeah, what we're able to do is create a little bit more air volume in there, and that makes the air a little bit more turbulent. It gives you that really low, that nice low intake noise.
Cool.
Yeah. So they can't see the intake, but what they can see is the exhaust.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have two different options on these bikes today we've been talking about. The first one is this 2-into-1 exhaust.
Cool.
And then the shorty slip-ons.
Cool.
So you were telling me a little bit about how you like the shorty slip-ons a little bit better.
Yeah, I like these better, but honestly, now being up close to the 2-in-1, I really like the look of that too. And I'm pretty sure they probably sound really cool. So
now we have two style options
yeah,
you can't choose between, huh?
Yeah, maybe just get both, and then, depending on the season, you can just change them out.
I love that idea. Accompanied with the Stage 1 intake, you're gonna actually get a 10% bump in horsepower with the full package, no matter which exhaust you choose. And not only that, but they really bring out that low, throaty sound as well. Another aspect of performance is suspension.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've got this 5-way adjustable piggyback shock over here on this bike. Essentially what that's gonna allow you to do is really soften the suspension up for city riding. It's also gonna give you an extra inch of suspension travel. So
awesome.
Both of those things together are gonna make it a really plush ride. And you talked a little bit about potholes, so it's gonna really help you out if you can't avoid those potholes.
That's great, especially riding in the city because you never know what to expect, so that's awesome.
Yeah, and then as soon as you get to the outskirts of the city and want to get on those twisty mountain roads, you can crank the suspension up a little bit. It's going to stiffen the suspension and really make sure that you can feel everything the bike is doing in those corners. So give you a little bit more control and a lot more feedback from the bike so you know exactly what it's going to do.
Bike's got your back.
It's got your back.
Yeah.
And then if you need to carry a passenger, the adjustability is really nice because depending on the weight of your passenger, you may want to adjust the suspension feedback there as well and make sure that they're comfortable.
Cool.
So we've talked about 3 different performance items today. The exhaust, you get your choice of style, accompanied with the intake, you get that nice horsepower and torque bump. And then you're gonna have suspension that is great for any kind of riding you wanna do, whether it's city, twisties in the mountains, or riding with a passenger.
And most importantly, you look good while doing it. So I think that's very key. I love it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bayardo, welcome to Spirit Lake, Iowa, home of Indian Motorcycle. So we're actually here today to talk about Scout Performance accessories.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've got this 5-way adjustable piggyback shock. Essentially what that's gonna allow you to do is really soften the suspension up for city riding. It's also gonna give you an extra inch of suspension travel. So
Awesome.
Both of those things together are gonna make it a really plush ride.
That's great.
And then as soon as you get to the outskirts of the city and want to get on those twisty mountain roads, you can crank the suspension up a little bit. It's going to stiffen the suspension and really give you a lot more feedback from the bike so you know exactly what it's going to do. And then if you need to carry a passenger, the adjustability is really nice because you may want to adjust the suspension feedback there as well and make sure that they're comfortable.
Bike's got your back.
It's got
great.
your back.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, welcome to Spirit Lake, Iowa, home of Indian Motorcycle.
Man, I'm psyched to be here, yeah.
I know you ride a Scout. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what kind of riding you do?
Yeah, for sure. I have a 2020 Scout Bobber.
Sweet.
I actually like to ride at night.
Well, you're in luck. We're here to talk about Scout lighting.
That's awesome.
The bike I'm on has the turn signals that are smoked. That's new for this year. Fits all the way back to 2018 Bobber. What's cool is that when it's off, it looks custom. But when you actually turn it on and change lanes and turn on your turn signals, that's where it's amber up front and then red in the back.
It looks
And
good.
brake lights too. And then this bike has the tinted lenses on the turn signals as well. So it's blacked out, custom look, and that fits back to 2015 Scout as well.
I'm excited to get that on my bike.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
We are in Spirit Lake, Iowa, at the home of Indian Motorcycle today, Jeffrey. And you are one of our wonderful Indian Motorcycle ambassadors that are here to help us talk about some Scout accessories.
Yeah.
I'm Shayna, part of the product team at Indian Motorcycle. I have a really cool job. I get to decide what our next products are going to be and also work really closely with the accessories team to make sure that we provide the perfect package for all of our customers.
That's a fun job.
It's a fun job.
Yeah.
You were telling me last night that you are in the middle of a cross-country road trip.
Yes. We started off over in Seattle and we're riding down the coast to San Francisco, and then from there we're going to break off and head east. Super excited, yes.
That sounds like a lot of fun and a perfect time for us to talk about the Scout touring accessories.
Yes.
So tell me about some of the challenges that you've encountered on longer road trips.
So my main concerns for that essentially is to have enough storage for the things I need for the trip. Comfort, for sure, and something to protect me from the wind.
Well, let's talk about wind protection a little bit.
Okay.
So we have a lot of great options that are going to help you stay protected from the wind on your long trip. For starters, we have one right here on this Scout. It's called our quick release fairing. It provides a lot of great wind protection, but the best thing about this fairing is that it comes on and off really easily. So while you're on your trip, you know, if you're staying in one spot for a little while and you just want to ride around and see the sights in that area, you can take your fairing off.
That's
just like
cool.
it came stock.
That's awesome. I like that, to have that option.
Along with that, if you don't like the full fairing look, we have a lot of other great options that are just windshields at different heights that also come with that quick release option.
Okay.
And then you said something about storage.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about what you bring on your ride.
Yep, on this long trip we're doing camping, so we're finding nice compact items to be able to fit in saddlebags. Yeah.
So you're going to load your bike up.
Yes.
Perfect. So we have two on this bike. One of them is the fairing bag, if you do choose to have that fairing option for wind protection. The other one are these really nice semi-rigid quick release saddlebags.
It's perfect because it does keep the look of the Scout, which is what I love, but is able to get everything I need in there.
What's the most important part of making sure that you're happy on your ride?
Comfort, because I'm going to be on my bike for a long while. I want to make sure I have the option to stretch out my legs. So
As you can see here on this bike, we have really nice highway bars, and we've added the highway pegs. You have so many different options of where you can move your feet, get your hips loose, make sure your legs aren't stiff as well.
I love that. Yes.
And then along with that, just to make sure that you're comfortable, we do have a couple of different seat options.
Okay.
This one here is what we call the Scout Sports Seat. It allows you to carry a passenger if you need. You can store extra stuff back here and strap it to a passenger backrest as well. So a lot of great options to keep not only you, but a passenger, if needed, comfortable as well.
For sure.
So we've talked about a lot of different options you can add to your Scout. Are you excited to try some of these out on your trip?
Yes. I need so much of this.